righty, welcome back to another episode of the Embassy Talks podcast. How's it going, Jade? Any church announcements?
No church announcements. It's just me doing homework and chilling over here. I was like, that's it. That's all. But no big announcements. Trying to think if anything's going on. No. How about you?
Just that I'm going to start posting on the channel. I keep saying that. I'm for real gonna at least have a couple videos over the next couple weeks on the new channel, key takeaways. Get back to content creating. I kind of took an extended spring break. One, to retool, look at metrics and stuff, and two, to basically hone down on what I want to do. And I think I found what I want to do across the board with writing and the channel that obviously will be converted to short form videos. So yeah. And if you haven't already, be sure to follow me on Medium now, where I'm writing M's musings. Okay, I only got one blog up right now. I'll have one more up because it's actually our main story tonight, but I'm gonna go into a little bit more in the blog. So I'll have that up in a couple days, hopefully. But be sure to follow me on Medium with M's musings. Well, I don't know if you can follow me, but if you can, yeah, follow me there. And I will be writing every 7 to 10 days, I guess. A blog every 7 to 10 days is the goal. And I think that's it. Yeah. Probably more news to come, hopefully in the next few weeks. But until then, it's just like, yeah, I'm chilling. Yeah, so that's it. But our main story, Lord, our main story for tonight, I chose it. I was like, I'm rolling my eyes. I'm just like, it's been agitating me all week. But our main story for our news beat is that we're going to take our turn litigating Miss Cheyenne Bryant and the broader pseudo anti-intellectual grift that's been going on, especially in these here United States. So if you don't know what's been going on with this particular story, Cheyenne Bryant has come out under fire recently for padding her credentials, primarily in the field of psychology, and blending my take, and it's kind of educated take, blending pseudo/pop psychology platitudes with life coaching, but passing it on as if she has a doctorate and has some form of licensing training, which we'll get to in a little bit. But most notably, as I alluded to, Bryant is under fire for calling herself doctor, wearing a whole doc chain, as you can see in the photo, and saying that she received in her words, doctoral in psychology from Argosy University, which is a now defunct for-profit degree mill. Before it was defunct, it was a for-profit degree mill, but now it has closed. It closed in 2019, I believe. But this is another feature of this rise of pseudo and anti-intellectualism, specifically in the US. And the thing with I think anti-intellectualism is a little easier to explain, but the thing with pseudo-intellectualism is that it's a little more insidious in the sense that if you're not peeping certain things, certain shit, you can almost miss it and take this person, whatever that person says, as fact, because they tend to present themselves with some sort of credentialing. But the thing is, to general audiences, not to insult, but this is a wide audience of average of 6th grade reading level, so context. But to general population that can kind of pass the sniff test if they show some form of credentialing, but if you dig a little deeper, you realize that credentialing is either from a fake school, a degree mill, it doesn't tell the whole story. It's an honorary degree. It's a divinity degree. No offense to religious folks, but the divinity degrees are really bad at it, passing off and being like, oh, I'm a doctor. You got your doctorate in divinity. I don't know if that's a real thing, but okay. So that is kind of their risk, because they, for Cheyenne Bryant, for her example, she passes off these pseudo psychology, pop psychology platitudes as actual psychological theory, and that ain't it. And as someone with a background in psychology, it makes my, I don't have a doctorate. No, my master's actually isn't in psychology. That's what I got my bachelor's in. But as someone who has actually done a thesis, not to dissertation levels, but has actually done a thesis, it's like, it's not flying. But, and even us plebeians with our masters is still just like, this shit ain't flying. So I'm gonna pause there because I did want to play kind of what she said on the Breakfast Club interview to reply to the accusations of, do you really have a doctorate? Because we ain't seen no dissertation, which you generally can find online in some way or form, usually through Google Scholar. So I'm gonna play her response and we'll pick it apart because I've been waiting to do this out loud. I've been doing it in my brain most of the week, but yeah. So playing no
Conversation about your doctorate because people can't find your dissertation online. How are you responding to that in this new era of your life?
I'm going to clear it up once on here. I'm not doing it again. And I'm clearing it up for my doc squad, for my fan base, for my audience who deserve to hear me address it. For the folks who have already made up their mind to not like me or not understand me, listen, I don't give a fuck what your narrative is. I would like for you to recreate it, double down on it, and run that shit because I don't give a fuck about it. Now, to my doc squad, my fan base, my folks, my village, it's very simple. I went to a school, Argosy University, completed an entire program. I went back online to get my official transcripts because I was applying to a law school many years to be a professor there. And I had to provide my transcripts, right, to get hired. And I went to contact the school and say, hey, I need my official transcripts. I need my entire thing. And there was no school. I was like, okay, I'm confused. I Google. It says this school has been shut down. I said, oh, well, they got to have records. I mean, they were accredited when I attended the school. They were accredited when I finished the program. I go and look, there is a third party that has the records. Why I contact the third party, that third party only holds records for 2 years. I was past my 2 years. So that means that I had no access to records. And then I contacted, financial aid. You can't make up financial aid. It shows that I paid for a doctoral program alongside my master's program and my undergrad program. And they said, we can fully refund you your money under one circumstance. We give you your money back. You don't get credit for not a class, a course, a program you took in this university, at this institute. So do you want us to refund you or do you want us not? I said no, because I didn't want to risk the chance of them saying, well, we're going to give you back your money and it wipes out your entire program. Luckily, I had, I do this with all of the schools. I had downloaded from the actual student portal my transcripts at that time. And I was able to get just about all of my transcripts, including up to like dissertation. But everything else, there's just no holding take for any of our records, which I think is completely effed up. Just in
They
general.
are going to kill you online.
All right. So, a lot of things really. But okay, so like I said, went to Argosy. Argosy is a for-profit degree mill that closed. Your transcripts, even if you go to a school that lost its accreditation and had to close, you can still get your transcript through
Parchment.
Thank you, Parchment. You can still get your transcripts through Parchment. So that was bullshit. The other thing, she completed her coursework because she's doing this whole thing of like, oh, I can't get my transcript and financial aid isn't giving it to me, which I'll get to in a second. We actually can't verify that she completed her coursework. And even if she did complete her coursework, there is such a thing of like going through a doctoral program and doing ABD, all but dissertation. So I think if she had just said that would have been okay, but still the whole bullshit story about the transcript. The other thing was that she was trying to apply to some law school to teach, which gave me pause because I was under the impression, I'm not a lawyer, nor did I thought about going to law school, just never applied. But I was under the impression that if you are teaching at a law school, you have to have some law background, right? Like I would expect law professors to have some sort of JD. If not that, if they're teaching some sort of history course, which I doubt. I think it's all people who have earned their JDs over the years. But if they're teaching some sort of history foundational, that type of thing, which I would assume to be a pre-law course, honestly, but they would have like a history degree, a U.S. history degree or something to that effect. So that also was like, that don't make sense at all, because if your background's in psychology, why are you applying to be a law school professor? And also, unless you're adjuncting, but again, I would expect for a law school for you to have a JD if you're going to teach there. The back to the financial aid part. If you are paying for your doctorate program, all right, this is going to sound elitist. If you're paying for your doctorate program, that's not a real doctorate program, because doctorate programs give you a grant. You're not, like, they pay you to go to school and contribute to the research and do your dissertation and, you know, submit it to the board and all that. So it's not a real doctorate program anyway, which is why Argosy is now defunct. But anywho, but, you know, like, let her tell us she don't give a fuck what us critics gotta say. Let's see, was that all my points? I think that was all my points, at least on that video. Basically, it was all bullshit. Yeah, I'm still pausing for my other bullet points, but I'll let you go ahead because I've been talking for a minute.
So, like I said, it's all bullshit, pretty much. Just for you to go online and then say the first thing is just like, well, if you're not part of my fan base, you're just basically hating on me and you're trying to tear me down. And it's just like, well, nobody's trying to tear you down. It's just the fact that you put yourself up on this public platform and then people were like questioning your credentials. So once those come into question, and that's a valid thing to be like, somebody's saying I'm a doctor, and I don't mean doctor as in medical, but just saying I'm a doctor in whatever. You can't just go willy-nilly saying that. I mean, apparently she can, because
Yeah, she
she
trademarked
owns
it.
rights to it. But yeah, it's like it's just a mess. It's messy. It's giving honorary degree, but worse.
But work.
Yeah. Like when people go around and they be like, "Oh, I have an honorary degree. I'm a doctor now." No, you didn't do no work. And this is worse because you're just claiming it, and then and the fact that you're saying that you can't get your transcripts, but then there are people who are like, I can get mine. So I was like, they're debunking you in real time. So stop lying, because now you're getting caught in these lies in real time. It's just a mess.
Yeah. So to my broader bullet points that I have on this is that Cheyenne Bryant is not a bug of the system. She's simply a feature, like I said, especially of the pseudo intellectualism, but also anti-intellectualism. Oh, which, let me get back to that. So anti-intellectualism clearly has been on the rise for a while. As I was venting about this and also kind of talking about with my husband, I was like, no, not to toot my own horn, because I don't want to toot my own horn about this particular part. It's like, yeah, no, I called the anti-intellectual thing when I was in school, like primary, middle school, high school. It was like, yeah, no, this is gonna be bad. And then once I graduated college in 2016, election went how they went. Then I was like, yep, that tracks. So, but I'll get to the intellectualism points in a minute from a global perspective. But with Bryant's, especially with people like Cheyenne Bryant, who is a Black woman, this is in a way dangerous because, one, social sciences like psychology, sociology, anthropology already aren't taken as seriously as like the hard sciences like biology, physics, engineering. Like it took a lot of work. We can debate and talk about how those social sciences were still made within the realm of white supremacy, but so another conversation. But they do have their merits, especially in explaining human behavior and human history. But it was already kind of a struggle when people with those degrees are kind of going up for certain jobs, or just like explaining, especially early on, explaining what those degrees did, what they were about, because people saw them as like the easier degrees because they weren't completely humanitarian, and they weren't like the hard sciences like I explained, or math per se, but they fell in the middle, which is why they're classified as social sciences, but they tend to be on the within the College of Arts and Science schools for a lot of universities. But because Bryant is also a Black woman, like I said, doing this type of grift, it kind of it definitely flies in the face of Black women and Black people in general who have actually done the work to earn a real doctorate from real universities. I'm not counting, this is me being elitist again, I don't count those for-profit degree mills as actual universities, because like we saw with Argosy and other for-profit degree mills, they tend to just close down once. Usually they get sued 6 ways to Sunday by the U.S. government for grifting and not providing adequate education to keep up with their accreditation. Now, on a more global scale, this sort of pseudo intellectualism and anti-intellectualism we're seeing in the US leaves it overall leaves the country vulnerable to further weakening its soft power influence. Obviously, we weren't alive back then, but around the World War II era, because we borrowed from the scientists in Germany. But around the World War II era, we did rise towards the top in the fields of math and science because we also were very welcoming to not only the Yahtzee scientists, but other immigrant scientists, kind of how the Nobel Prizes sort of sprung up and just kind of having that open door when it came to these intellectuals, these professionals to lend their expertise to basically make America kind of rise, like I said, to the top in that influence and kind of being in some form or fashion an intellectual powerhouse to compete with other countries. However, because this rise of anti-intellectualism has taken place, I would say since Reagan. Reagan probably started and Bush Jr. definitely perfected it with No Child Left Behind. But because we saw that rise take place now, like I said before, the average reading level is sixth grade for most Americans. 54%, I believe, was the percentage rate. So that's just reading level. I think we're worse in math and science now. But it kind of lends other countries to rise and take place, which on the one hand, personally, I'm just like, it is what it is. On the other hand, it's like, damn, that kind of sucks. Because just like, not to seem anti or pro China, I don't know how y'all gonna take this, but not to seem anti or pro China, but just like we were talking about a few episodes ago, where China has this policy of like, yeah, you got to be credentialed in something to have such an influential platform on our websites or on our social media. Like, because they have that rule, it does kind of gives them the upper hand in the sense of like, see, we prop up our smart people and yeah, we value intelligence over here. Like, but it also kind of lends into that stereotype, but a conversation for another day. But yeah, just overall, like, honestly, with the brain drain that could and probably will occur in the US in the next couple of years, and like I said, this rise of anti-intellectualism and government currently taking a chainsaw to education and certain educational programs, like, it's just that's all power influence when it comes to lending actual credibility to certain things, especially in fields like medicine and social sciences, and even the arts is like, that's gonna take a big hit. But hey, I could be wrong, but I'm usually just early. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree that America has this decline, like you said, decline, not decline, but the growing into more of the anti-intellectualism over the years, over the last couple decades, that it's been an increase of people who value common sense, and they think that that's like the end all be all, that like, oh, you just have to have and you know who's the biggest proponent, the biggest advocate, I feel like, for anti-intellectualism?
Uh,
Podcast bros.
I was gonna say something along the lines of podcast bros or Man of Spear is like, it was right there.
Yeah, it's like, just ooh, just that, like, you can feel it.
Yep.
You can, like, that's their spear.
Yep.
Like, ooh. But yeah, so it's sad, the fact that as a society we don't value because there are people who do value education, and like, and not and higher education isn't for everyone. That's first and foremost, it's not for everyone. But for the people it is for, that the fact that there are people who are like, oh, well, I can get famous off of doing this, I can do this and make money, I can trade, I can do this, I can do this, that, and the fourth, without having any type of higher education. And people like that quick buck versus having to work for what you is detrimental to the Black community, just because we are already limited to what we can do, like, historically. So you would think that we're already at a disadvantage, we're already behind the game, and then when we were allowed to do these things And I'm keyword saying allowed because we weren't. These were laws that, like, you're not going to have further education, you're not going to learn, you're not going to be in the same institutions. Like, even when we had to have our own colleges that are separate but not equal. And not saying that HBCUs aren't great now, but back in the day, they didn't value that education the same way that you would now. So it's just kind of like one of those things where it's like, y'all should value having an education, whether it's for you or not. You shouldn't be saying like, oh, well, it's all good. Like, you don't really need it. And it's tough for Black women. It's bad that she's a Black woman in this debate.
Yep.
Like, it, because you're already Black, you're a woman, and then we add that together, you're a Black woman. You're a Black woman who is supposed to be within the rare percentage of higher education, because I was like, it's no, not rare, but in a smaller percentage of ones that go further in their careers. So it's just really sad, like, that this has to come at about, and you could have just went. You have degrees. That's the bad thing. So you already have degrees. So then you had to make up the fake one.
Yep.
Nobody would have been checking for you if you were like Dr. Phil and just saying you're a doctor, but I'm not. I don't have a doctorate. I
Well,
don't have a PhD behind my name. I don't have
I think Dr. Phil
a
does have a
doctor.
doctorate, actually.
Not anymore.
No, he doesn't have his license anymore, but yeah, it isn't once you have your doctorate, it's forever. So
Well, yeah, but you can't. That's why his show was under entertainment purposes,
yeah.
because he wasn't practicing like under license.
Yeah.
So that's why the whole people have issue with him, because they're like, you're not even licensed. So
Yeah, no, he's definitely not
you having
licensed,
these
but
people.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's just like it's a weird situation, in her doubling down on everything, doubling down. Yeah. And it's just like, it's just not the brightest. It's not smart. I would have just owned up to it by this point, because you're digging a hole and you keep digging it deeper the more lies you come out with, because now people are debunking your lies, and like I said earlier, in real time they're debunking you. So it's just not a good look. And when you said earlier, no child left behind, I will say some children should have been left behind, because there are people who pass, and I can text a man. And yes, I'm going to say a man, because I'm sorry, but sometimes men are not the sharpest tools in the shed. And not all, I'm not saying all, but some, but oh, some of them are not that bright. And the way that they text now, dating is ghetto. The way that they text, and it's like, I know for a fact that you talk the way you text. So you
Yeah.
probably read the way you text.
Yeah.
So it's just like, ooh, we need education. Like, baby, you shouldn't have graduated. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought I had one more point, but it'll probably come back and then I'll just throw it into my blog. But all right, let's move on because I do have work in the morning. Oh, all right, moving on to Creator Hub, all the latest in content creation updates. It's actually kind of light, even though we were off for a week, but it's light. So for Twitch has announced a new enforcement against persistent view botters that will cap a streamer's viewership. I didn't really go farther into it because the source that I got from apparently was a tweet, and I did not feel like digging through the depths of the cesspool that is Twitter. But that's the short of it. Twitch has a new enforcement against, and it will cap a streamer's viewership. But what that means is that they're not going to cap your viewership in real time of, oh, we're going to just automatically cap it at like 100 or whatever. It's more so if Twitch suspects you of view botting consistently, they will start capping your viewership at a certain level of like, you can't have no more than X amount of views, because clearly you are paying for bots to just sit up and lurk and falsely inflating your views. So that's what that is about. But because view botter tech has gotten more sophisticated, I can only imagine, especially since we started on Twitch. Yeah, I can see this is going to be a theme of whack-a-mole. But that's my take on it. And I mean, as someone who don't stream that much anymore, is like, I don't see this being like a problem knocked out in the short term. But that's just me. Anything on that though?
No, just that sometimes Twitch be doing the right thing. They really do. They don't listen all the time.
Yeah.
But yes, because there are people who try to cheat the system with those bots. So the fact that you're going to cap it off if they notice a trend within your streams. So it's just kind of like, okay, yeah, make it fair across the board. So this is a way to make it fair for everyone. So yeah.
All right, moving on to YouTube. YouTube is running an experiment on mobile devices that changes the thumbnail and video sizes in the home feed, which may result in some cropping for you YouTube creators. YouTube is also testing a conversational search using agentic AI. For a short definition, agentic AI is basically when you tell the AI to do something and it does it for you, plans it out, does it for you. It does have some form of generative AI in there depending on what you ask, but it's agentic in the sense of like it's doing tasks for you. It's the next step in AI, basically. But this conversational search will help you plan a trip, including what to see and where to go. I'll stop there before we get into the view botting on YouTube as well. But yeah, your thoughts on the
cool that they changing the thumbnail sizes. So yeah, that's just a good little feature, I guess. I'm not big into YouTube. I'm big into watching YouTube.
yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, okay. So some of these features are just like, okay, it seems and on the other side of it seems like a cool feature. Like, okay, that seems handy. Now, the fact that the AI, I'm so for and against AI sometimes. It just depends on like how you're using it. I guess. I don't know.
AI can still make mistakes though, is my only thing. If you're planning a trip, it's like, okay, might as well use I mean,
Yeah.
I get it, travel agents cost money and all that, and you may not feel like Googling everything. But Luke is
But
right
yeah,
there.
it's and then the weird part about it is okay, so you're already ooh, my chair is creaky. You're already on YouTube. So why use the AI when you can literally just like find a video of people who went to the places that you want to go? That's what I do.
Also true.
Like that's how I've discovered other places where I'm just been like, oh, I want to go here, and I found people who went, especially like other Black creators, and be like, oh, they went, and see their experience from it, and then make a whole itinerary off of that. That's that simple. No AI use, but I mean, everybody,
He will be lazy.
yeah, they don't want to do the work.
Nope. But yeah, so there's that. So we'll see. I ain't gonna use it, but we'll see. All right. View botting on YouTube is also a problem. ISO Speed actually admitted that one of his 2 million, well, I guess his 2 million viewer stream actually had only about 300,000 people viewing, live views basically. So yeah, viewbotting is a problem that I don't think will go away anytime soon, but you know, it is what it is. And YouTube is also testing a new user interface for home and subscription feeds on mobile. Anything else on YouTube though?
Nothing on YouTube.
All right. In broader, there's nothing for TikTok. In broader creator industry news, RIP to Ask.com, aka Ask Jeeves. It shut down earlier this week, I believe. Netflix has officially launched its vertical short feed on mobile. Tinder and Zoom are launching proof of humanity eye scans to combat AI scams. We are in the age of iRobot. GameStop is offering to buy eBay for $56 billion. Instagram is reducing reach for content aggregators. Oh, this is actually a good one. And Instagram is reducing reach for content aggregators and photos and carousels. They want more focus and discovery for original creators. Thank goodness. I mean, I do need to post on Instagram more anyway, because I have not. But I was just like, oh, thank God. Because aggregators are, I mean, I get it. It's the easy way to get views and stuff. But yeah, Spotify is now using the verified artist badge to distinguish between real humans and AI generated content. And Meta is launching an AI-powered age assurance that will scan for things like bone structure or height. Anyway, your thoughts on the creator industry news section?
Yeah, so it's sad with ask.com because I remember like I'm that old
Yeah.
that I actually had to use ask.com or like Dogpile or like all these old ones where it's like all these old search engines before it became a thing to be like Google me,
Yeah.
Google this. And it was just synonymous with being on the internet, which is like Google. Oh, okay. And like that's what everybody used. So before then we had all these search engines and like in school I remember going on these things and it's just like, oh, that's a part of a childhood memory. Like I don't know the last time I ever went on ask.com, but I remember in childhood going on there
Yeah.
and like doing reports and being like, oh, I can find stuff from another state. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out why Netflix is needing short feed videos.
It's trying to keep up with the content sphere. It does have a feature where some podcasts are on Netflix now. There is
Oh
usually
yeah.
yeah, it's usually the bigger name podcast, but yeah, it's bridging its way to the content sphere and taking more of our money.
That's all it's gonna do. GameStop needs to shut up. They need to just sit their tails behind down and talk about they want to buy eBay for why. No. Next. I like the fact that Tinder I don't get it for Zoom. I guess for Zoom because there are companies that use Zoom for like interviews and things like that.
Yeah,
So I guess
yeah.
that makes sense for them. But the proof of humanity is hilarious that they're going to be like on the dating profile. I mean, nope, it's not totally ridiculous, but it's just funny that the fact that we live in a day and age where it's like you have to prove that you're a human.
Yeah.
So it's like I was talking to a guy and then because he said on one dating app you verify your profile so that they know you're a real human. But then when I texted him, his name was different, and he's like, "No, I go by my middle name." And I was like, "Oh, okay." That made more sense. And he was even like, "You know that they make you verify you're a person on the site." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "But I was still like," and I gave him my
Right.
fake number. So that's why I was like, he thought I was trying to scam because I gave him the fake number first, and then I was like, "Oh, when I got comfortable, gave you my real number." But yeah, it's ghetto. Be happy you're married. It's so ghetto over here. Gosh. But yeah, let's see what else. No, Spotify. That's big.
I mean,
Just
I'm glad they have the verified artist badge. I'm just annoyed that they have AI generated content.
Yeah, like you would think they would kick that off of their
Yeah.
stuff, but at the same time, at least now it's like you can be listening to something and be like, this artist sounds cool. And then now you figured out, like that girl who made her whole persona off
Yep.
of being AI,
Yep.
and who was it, SZA and all of them were tearing her a new one. They were
Yep.
like, no, you're not a real artist because no. And they're like, she's like, I wrote the songs, like, but that's not you
Right.
coming out with videos and stuff that's like completely AI. Like it's not the same.
Yeah.
Again, people being lazy. I swear we're getting closer and closer to DComs. If for all the people who don't know what DCOM is, Disney Channel original movies. Because I swear all these plots are things that happen in Disney Channel movies. So it's just crazy. But yeah, like we're living in the smart like what the Waymo is that on the
Oh,
thing? No.
no.
Like the self-driving cars and them malfunctioning, like that's just straight out of Smart House. Like it's just going crazy. The AI is just going crazy. So I'm like, yeah, it's AI, man. We live in a day and age where we have to put up with it, and we're getting closer and closer to Disney Channel movies. So yeah, I got off point, but yeah. But I think that's it on industry news before I get off tangent again.
Moving on to Just Don't Care, So Do Y'all Care? I just want to get on his head a bit. All right, so Drake released 3 albums this past weekend, and a part of that is him continuing to go on his grievance tour, which that's just me not liking him as a person. He has the right to still go on his grievance tour against whoever, I guess. But so the Canadian dropped not one, but 3 albums spanning a total of 43 songs, which clocks around 142 minutes and 14 seconds. And the strained relations, this might have to do with the strained relations with his record label, Universal, which is of why he decided to release 3 albums in one weekend overnight. So, for those of you who may not remember, Drake filed a lawsuit against Universal last year over his sparring partner. I don't know who I would be sparring partner, but over his and Kendrick Lamar's beef, more so over Kendrick Lamar's song "Not Like Us," which accused him and his friends of being certified PDF. Drake's grievance was that Universal Music Group, to which Kendrick Lamar is also signed, allowed him to be defamed by releasing and promoting the track. And the lawsuit was dismissed last year after a judge ruled that no reasonable person would understand the PDF allegation to be factual in a rap battle context. Yeah. So, and thus Drake is probably very upset with UMG, but can't get out the label. So he's probably doing like, well, fine here. So I guess Chief of Drake fans got 3 albums to go sift through. Good luck. So from the takes of the few songs I heard not voluntarily from these 3 album releases, and from what I've seen as far as what internet is saying, is that Iceman is mainly rehashing hurt feelings over the beef, specifically over certain things like LeBron. He was really on LeBron's head for some reason, but over like LeBron essentially switching sides and like going to the pop out concert that Kendrick had, stuff like that. So the album Iceman rehashed those hurt feelings of what he felt about that, what Drake felt about that. Maid of Honor is the more boppy Drake with the melodies, not Drake when he's upset or trying to act tough. There you go. Yeah. So Maid of Honor is more boppy and has that old Drake feel of like, Drake with the melodies and not trying to act tough and all that. And Habibti, which, Habibti is a snoozer. And a snoozer, total snoozer. People were like, I couldn't even finish it. But they were like, well, I don't know if it's because he released it so late and it's 3 albums long, or because it's a true snoozer. But apparently a lot of people just couldn't get through the albums. So that's what I saw. Am I going to do my own research and listen to the albums? No. Nope. Despite me potential or going on a long flight soon, no, I have better things to do. But that was just what I saw, and I found it somewhat interesting. But your take?
Yeah, him and his. I don't get why. I like the fact that people were saying they're like, yes, he came and dropped 3 mid albums, and it's like, but why?
Yeah.
For why? Like, there was no reason. What was the reason, in the words of Cardi B? And like, why is it so? It's so much time has passed, and you could have said all this during the beef, and then it's over now, and you're still crying about it. Like, oh, woe is me. It's just crazy. It's truly crazy that like he's still going through these emotions. Like, he hurt you bad. He hurt you. I know what it's like. He hurt you. I was like, oh, you gotta keep on keeping on. I'm like, damn. Slight tidbit, for like a couple hours or like a day or something, they did take off. Kendrick's music disappeared.
Yeah.
And then was put back up.
I don't know if that. I'm not going to conspiracy brain about that. I think that was more so like, I don't know, something going on in the background with maybe Apple Music or something. I'm not going to conspiracy brain on that right now. I don't think, I mean, it is highly coincidental. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, I don't think there's a conspiracy to that one. Just very coincidental that it happened in the same week that Iceman was releasing. Oh, Iceman, the name is that's an interesting name to pick during this time, but whatever.
Still taking L's.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if he is going to cease and desist a certain government post or not, but we'll see.
Because he should, because most artists who have their songs used or like whatever their artwork, and they've sent them like, hey, take that down.
Yeah.
So, but we were already mad at the fact that somebody said that they didn't look like Michael Jackson because he had the Michael Jackson glove.
Yeah.
And then they're like, it looked like Hamburger Helper. I was like, that's funny. But yeah, it's just Drake. Go back to your wheelchair Jimmy days. Go back to acting for a while.
Damn.
Like, just chill out.
Not even the fun Bob you say. Just go back to acting. Just
go back to acting for a while. Like, go lick your wound and just chill out because you still hurt. So go lick your wounds.
Yeah. All right. Anything else on the Iceman, I guess?
I hate that name, but no, nothing on that. I'm not going to listen to it. And I was embarrassed earlier this week just because everybody was doing the little Spotify thing, and like the first thing they listened to and all that stuff is like what was their most listened to ever on Spotify. And I use Spotify for a select amount of time, and you could tell I was big into Drake, very big. And I used to be a Drake fan. I'm not even gonna lie, certain ones I still listen to every time to time.
Yeah,
Like
I'm not saying he sucks at rapping. He has bops. It's just more so like Drake the person is like,
it's trashy. But yeah, I was just like, wow, my most listened to person on Spotify was, and that's because I don't use Spotify ever anymore. Like, I haven't used it in years. I use Apple Music.
Yeah.
So like that, like my Rihanna got this top spot on my thing. I listen to Rihanna nonstop because sis ain't giving us an album. She gonna keep producing babies, but that's it. If she dropped the album, I just leave. But she want to keep producing babies, so I'm like, you do you, sis, you do you. But yeah, Yeah, Drake, Wheelchair Jimmy Brooks, Aubrey Graham. Yeah, just go ahead, chill for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And last but not least, weekly roundup news that might have been under the radar. Another Love is Blind couple has bitten the dust, which now is like, I was just further proving my Love is Blind video right. But yeah, so Love is Blind's Chelsea Griffin and Kwame Appiah split after 4 years. They confirmed that they were ending their marriage a week after what would have been their 4th wedding anniversary. Griffin said she wanted to directly address the split to the community that has shown them support since season 4. They were on season 4 of Love is Blind, but since that season took place in 2023. So both her and Kwame were like, this isn't the outcome that they hoped for, and, they still respect each other, yada, yada, yada. I did allude to their ultimate life goals no longer feeling aligned, and Chelsea said more the same thing, that they were growing in different directions. So that happened. Oh yeah, and Chelsea she's not over it, but she's helping with like the casting, interviewing of new contestants on Love is Blind. I don't know how many. Well, they're probably gonna ride that thing till the wheels fall off in lawsuits. But yeah, that I don't think this affects her job any. It shouldn't, but that's just like a little note. Like, yeah, she works for Love is Blind now, basically. I will say, when that was one of the main things I recall when watching season 4 live, when it was live back in 2023. I was like, I personally wasn't buying their relationship. I thought Kwame was kind of sick of her. Could have been because of how production edited it, or how the editors edited it, but I don't know. It just looked like Kwame was sick of her then. So I'm not really too surprised that they didn't work out. I'm not rooting for their breakup or nothing. It's just more so like, not surprised. But yeah, it could have been how it was edited, but I didn't. The vibes were not giving when y'all were together. Kwame ultimately kind of gave, I'm just here so I won't get fined, personally, from what I picked up. So that's just me though. But yeah, your thoughts on another Love is Blind couple not making it to distance?
I don't know. They just keep on. The only ones, but the funny thing is, the only ones I'm like rooting for are, of course, Cameron and Lauren.
Yeah.
And then there's Zach and Bliss. That's it.
What about Tiffany and Brett?
Oh, Tiffany. See, I forget about them. They so low key. I forget about Tiffany and Brett. But yeah, I'm like, those are the 3 that I'm just like, that's it. That's my Love is Blind crew. And everybody else is just a consolation prize if they keep going. Because I know that the one couple from last season that didn't make it to the altar, but they were still dating, they just broke up too.
I didn't care for last season. I already forgot who that was.
Exactly. Like I don't remember their names. I can remember their face, can't remember their name. And it's very broad saying that white man, because they were all white. So yeah. But yeah, I'm shocked that they lasted this long.
Yeah.
But that just tells you though, and it looks like it's civil so far. So
yeah,
when people give out joint statements, and then they're just like, we're just going in 2 different directions. So it's just, that means something fundamentally was different.
Yeah.
And it couldn't be ignored any longer.
Yep. That was the impression I got too. Yeah. Anything else though before we get off here? Ooh, it's still before 9 o'clock.
Nope, I'm good.
Alrighty. That wraps up another episode of the Embassy Talks podcast. Thank y'all for coming out and tuning in. The YouTube crew, there we go. I blanked, my bad. YouTube crew, we will catch y'all later as well. And we will catch y'all next time.